guys, it's me Tamika, and I'm a board certified psychiatric mental health nurse practitioner. I also go by the name the Flagrant Psych and P, and I make mental health educational videos on this channel to mainly empower you to take control of your own mental health. And then I have this own personal vision or mission to do my part to help decrease the stigma surrounding mental illness. And so, to all of my loyal subscribers, welcome back to the channel. But I also need to take a minute to recognize that we have a couple of new subscribers who have actually joined since the last video. So to everybody who's new here, thanks so much for joining. Thank you for trusting me to help you navigate this mental health landscape. I'm excited to have you here. But yeah, we're in the family room again today. You can see I got the Christmas tree up behind me. That's because today we're going to be talking about Christmas, right? It's right around the corner. It is no turning back. Everything is moving full steam ahead, right? And, you know, Christmas can either be the most wonderful time of the year, like they boast in the songs, or it can feel like you're trying to wrap gifts with mittens on your hands, right? But today in this video, I'm here to try to help you avoid the latter. And so it's important that we have this conversation because a lot of times people don't want to talk about the messy side of the holidays, but they do exist. And when we don't have these conversations, people tend to feel like they're struggling in silence or they're struggling alone. And again, on this channel, we're about breaking those stigmas surrounding mental illness. So I'm going to be providing you some perspectives today on how to get through the holiday season without, losing your sanity. And before we get into everything, the most important takeaway that I want you to take from today's video is that you cannot control everything about the holidays, but you can control how you respond. And so with that, let's get into tip number 1 on how to successfully manage the holidays. And so the first thing that we need to do is we need to be setting realistic expectations because that's going to help prevent disappointment, right? And so you don't want to be comparing yourself to like the content creators on Instagram and TikTok. Listen, I told you I used to be on Instagram and I was actually a content creator in the interior design niche. So I get it. Like, I've seen all of the elaborate Christmas decorations, the themes, the gingerbread themes, the white Christmas themes. And I've even fell victim to this myself. I think one year at Christmas time, I put up 7 fully decorated Christmas trees throughout my whole house. I think I had a tree in every room, and that's not including the rest of the Christmas decor, right? Do you think I did that this year? And no. Okay. So this year I kind of went more for a vibe, like a vintage, relaxed, vintage Christmas vibe. And I'm just letting it flow. And I just kind of challenge you to kind of practice from that own perspective. Create a vibe instead of a theme and just let it flow. And I think when you do it that way, you'll be able to have more authentic joy during the holiday. So the second habit or perspective that I want you to employ this holiday season is setting boundaries for yourself, especially with people that you know are difficult for you to be around. And let's be honest, there's at least one family member or friend who typically triggers us to our core whenever they come around. So you got to be upfront and honest with yourself about what you can and can't handle. So if and when you have to interact with those people, you want to keep it cute, be polite, but you also want to be firm. You can use I statements because those typically come off a little bit less offensive. So something as simple as, you know what, I'm not doing this right now. Or, I love you, but I need some downtime right now. And then don't be afraid to, stand on it, like walk away if things get heated. Because remember, this is about learning how to protect your mental health or your mental peace. Because if you don't do it, who else will? And then also remember this as well. Setting boundaries is not about being rude. It truly is a form of self-care. Here's another thing that I think we could benefit from. A habit we can benefit from cutting during the holiday seasons, and that is doing things out of guilt or feeling like we're obligated to do certain things, right? Of course, the holidays is about, connecting with family and, tradition. But when those traditions start to grow every year and they get to the point where you feel like you're spending more time, energy, and money than you realistically have, they start to lose their luster, and then you can also burn yourself out really quickly. And so, I love being with my family during the holidays as well, but I'm going to be really honest with you. I hate committing to being in that kitchen and cooking these full on, holiday meals. And so it takes the fun out of the holidays for me if I'm being realistic with you. And so a couple of years ago, my family and I, we developed a tradition where, if you want to throw down during the holidays or Christmas or whatever, then you're going to have to come in the kitchen and contribute something. We actually got that idea from an episode of Everybody Hates Chris, where Rochelle told everybody that they had to cook a dish for Thanksgiving dinner. And then I've also been hosting a Christmas Eve dinner at my house for the last couple of years, where I invite my extended family over, and it just gives the whole family a chance to connect with each other without encroaching on everybody's actual Christmas plans. But I don't have the mental capacity to do it this year, nor do I have the desire to do it. So I'm not going to do it. And I don't feel guilty about it. Maybe we'll pick up on it next year. And so I just want to say, like, you don't have to feel guilty or committed to do things that you don't want to do. Create your own traditions. It's okay to experience your Christmas or your holiday the way that you and your nuclear family want to experience it. And here's another habit that I think we all could benefit from during the holiday seasons, and that is giving ourselves permission to have mixed emotions during the holidays, right? And what I mean by that is that it's okay to love the holidays, but then also hate the chaos. And so, yes, Christmas is notoriously associated with, all the warm, fuzzy vibes, the Christmas tree, the lights, family, the fireplace, a hot cocoa, Christmas carols, Christmas movies. But on the flip side of that, it's also notoriously associated with being financially taxing, which can be very stressful. And then we got to remember this too. Some people are grieving, they don't have certain people that they can spend the holidays with. And so, that can be very depressing. And so if you find that during the holidays that you are, at one minute you're feeling happy, the next minute you're anxious, you're irritable, you're nostalgic, then you're annoyed, and you're feeling all of this at the same time, it's okay, actually, right? Now we're not gonna act like just because it's Christmas time that we have to walk around like it's a Hallmark movie every day. No. And so if you are experiencing those type of emotions, just know that it's normal. So you want to give yourself some grace and cut yourself some slack. Now these next couple of tips, these are for my introverts. Where are my introverts at? I too am an introvert, believe it or not. And I tell people all the time, though, that I can be a people person when I need to be, but I'm an introvert at heart. I can sit in the comforts of my home and entertain myself every day of the week. So I get it. I get it, right? But during the holiday seasons, we're more inclined to get invites to, holiday parties, whether it's Christmas parties, New Year's Eve parties, whatever, right? And so you want to be social. You want to do your part in spreading Christmas joy or holiday cheer. And so I want to give you some tips on how to actually survive that social anxiety that's typically tied around those type of events. And then one thing that I want to tell you want to do is you actually want to arrive early. And yes, I said early. The reason you want to do that again is because if you're an introvert, you're typically dealing with a lot of social anxiety. When you arrive early, there's typically going to be fewer people, right? And so fewer people equals less anxiety, and then you're able to control your energy and your entry in that environment, right? The second thing that I want to say to my introverts is that you want to put your phones down. Like, and I know this is a society where we're like heavily, heavily addicted to our phones, and introverts, like, we tend to like retreat to our phones when we're in social environments when we don't feel comfortable. It's like our security blanket, right? But you want to put the phone down because what it's doing is it's actually prolonging anxiety. And so if you put your phone away, at least for like 10 minutes at a time, you're going to help to settle your nervous system instead of actually stimulating it. So try that the next time you get invited to a holiday party this season. Okay, so this is a big one, and you knew we couldn't end this video without having a conversation about finances at Christmas time. Prices are going up, grocery prices are going up specifically. People aren't receiving the supplemental, support that they typically depend on to help them buy groceries. It seems like Christmas is getting more expensive every year, more expensive than the last year, but yet the kids have Christmas lists that are 2 and 3 pages long, front and back. Okay. So yeah, the holidays come with a lot of pressure. And that's part of why, my purpose in making this video today. But listen to me, fam. It's okay to scale back this year, Okay. Tell yourself the truth about what you can afford. And that means having an honest conversation or coming to terms with the fact that it's okay that things are going to look different this year. It's okay if I have less to spend. It's okay if the budget is tight. Lying to yourself leads to overspending. When you're honest with yourself, you can plan smartly and peacefully. And some of the things that you can do to help navigate this, financial taxing piece of the holiday, as we kind of talked about this a little bit earlier, is break the traditions of always doing the most. So if you're the one who normally hosts, if you're the one who normally buys all the, Christmas gifts, if you're the one that normally cooks all the time, if you're already always decorating big, listen, remember, it's okay to adjust your traditions to your reality. And that doesn't mean that Christmas is going to be less special because you have to do that. And some other things to consider, in this economy, you're going to find that a lot of families are actually switching to things like Secret Santa, buying one gift per person, a kids only gift exchange, spending caps, right? Because all of these things help to decrease stress and costs. And honestly, families are finding that they like this a lot more. The bottom line here, guys, is that Christmas is only one day, but debt lasts for months. So, it's easy to get swept away and everything during the holiday seasons. I get it. But when January comes, you're going to be the one paying those bills, not the people that you're trying to please. So, you want to make sure you are choosing financial peace as a gift to yourself and your future. So, this last habit that I think we all could benefit from, I actually think it's the most important one. That's why I was intentional about making it last in the video. But that is remembering or staying grounded in what Christmas is actually about, right? And we all know, yeah, Christmas has become heavily commercialized, but it's a religious holiday, right? And it represents Christ. So I'm not going to get into religion in this video, but overall, the true meaning of Christmas is about love, hope, and salvation. And so we need to be cognizant about recentering our hearts surrounding that, right? Because again, we can get swept away in all of the other things, the gifts, the expectations, the traditions, um, all of that stuff. And but we remember the core of what Christmas is, um, it and not the performance of what Christmas is, it really brings you back to a place of peace instead of pressure. And some of the things that we can do to kind of help us stay grounded in the true meaning of what Christmas is that you can do things like serve someone in a small but meaningful way. So, for example, um, the Salvation Army people that you see standing outside of the grocery stores ringing those bells. If it touches your heart, donate, right? Maybe you can donate toys to kids who are, underserved this holiday season. Um, Other things that you can do, like internally in your home, again, you can slow down on some of your traditions. You don't have to scrap everything, but just kind of slow down on stuff. So instead of, like, for example, me, instead of putting up 7 Christmas trees around my entire house, I have 2 Christmas trees this year. One is not even decorated, and this one behind me, all it has is, ornaments and some tinsel. But, just do things to kind of, again, recenter your heart surrounding what the holiday season really means. Now, listen, I know that some of us still have small children or grandchildren who still fully believe in the magic of Christmas the way it's advertised to them all through the media. And, that's okay, right? Because children experience, Christmas through imagination. And so, they still love the story of Santa and the lights and the gifts. That's all magical to them, right? You don't have to fight the magic. You just want to guide it. So, you could say things to them like, Santa is a fun tradition, but Christmas is really about Jesus's birth, right? And so, again, just staying centered and remembering the reason for the season, it's going to help Christmas feel, less about pressure and production and more about peace and purpose. So that is it for today's video, guys. I hope that you enjoyed this information. I hope that you found some of these tips practical. Let me know in the comments, what do you think that you might use this year to kind of help you, this and upcoming years, to kind of help you navigate the holiday seasons without using your sanity. Also, if you have some tips that I didn't cover, something that you think we might can all benefit from, go ahead and drop me a comment below. I love to hear from you. But yeah, until next time, you guys always take care of yourselves. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, all the things, and I will talk to you in the next video. Bye.
Take a whole day to recognize sunshine. When you need someone, I will be by your side. Hold on. There is a light that shines. That's for you and me. Yeah.